A high-profile political and legal storm continues to unfold. Questions now deepen over the fate of the former cabinet secretary Raphael Tuju, and today a senior political figure is speaking out. Oburu Odinga has confirmed that he personally reached out to William Ruto in an attempt to intervene in the ongoing crisis facing Raphael Tuju, a crisis now centered on disputed multi-million shilling property, a contested auction, and a criminal investigation into an alleged staged abduction. The unfolding situation surrounding the former cabinet secretary Raphael Tuju is quickly evolving into one of the most complex political and legal sagas in recent months. At the center of the matter is a prime property located in Karen, Nairobi, home to the Dari Business Park, and this property has become the focal point of dispute involving financial obligations, ownership claims, and also legal enforcement. The property was tied to a loan facility taken by Tuju in 2015 from East African Development Bank. Over the time, the loan fell into distress, setting in motion a recovery process that would eventually lead to public auction of the land. According to available information, the property was auctioned in February 2025, and following the auction, ownership reportedly changed hands. However, the transition has not been smooth. Tuju has continued to contest the outcome, insisting on retaining or reclaiming the property. This has placed him at odds with the new claimed owner and at the center of legal and financial standoff. As the dispute intensified, it also took a dramatic turn. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations has accused Tuju of staging his own abduction on March 21st. The allegation has added a criminal dimension to an already sensitive situation, and Tuju is currently admitted at the Karen Hospital where he remains under medical care and reportedly under strict police watch. The developments have drawn a national attention, with the growing public interest and political reactions emerging from different quarters. Among those drawn into the discussion is Senator Oburu Odinga. Questions that have been raised about whether he had used his perceived political influence, particularly his proximity to President William Ruto, to assist Tuju. In response, Oburu has now broken his silence. He says he did not attempt to intervene. According to his account, the situation came to his attention while he was in Mombasa. He says he received a call alerting him that police officers had surrounded Tuju's current property. Concerned by the developments, Oburu says he reached out directly to the president. His intention, he explains, was to seek clarity and possibly secure intervention, but the response he received painted a different picture. And according to Oburu, President William Ruto indicated that the matter was largely legal and transactional in the nature. The president reportedly shared documentation showing that the property had already been sold through a public auction. That documentation, Oburu says, included evidence of a change in ownership. From the point, the issue appeared less about intervention and more about legal resolution. Oburu further revealed that Tuju himself had previously engaged the president on the same matter, and during that engagement, the president is said to have outlined a possible path forward. That path, however, came with conditions, and according to Oburu, Tuju was advised that if he wished to regain ownership of the property, he would need to compensate the individual who purchased it during the auction. In simple terms, the recommendation was to buy back the property from the new owner. But that proposal appears to have become a sticking point, and Oburu indicates that Tuju has not accepted this route. Instead, he is said to be pushing for the property to be restored to him without making that payment. This disagreement lies at the heart of the ongoing dispute. As the situation continues to unfold, a businessman has stepped forward, asserting legal ownership of the property. Jackson Chebet claims that his company Ultra Eureka Limited acquired the dairy business park through a legitimate public auction, and according to his affidavit, the purchase was completed on October 2024 at a cost of 450 million shillings. He maintains that the transaction followed due process. Chebet further states that the property is now under the control of his company. He adds that he has been charged to KCB Bank Kenya, reinforcing his claim of lawful ownership. This development introduces another layer of complexity. It brings into focus the competing claims between the former property holder seeking reinstatement and also new owner asserting legal rights. Meanwhile, President William Ruto has also addressed the matter publicly. While speaking in Siaya County, he expressed concern about the role of individuals surrounding Tuju. The president suggested that some of those claiming to support him may not be acting in his best interest. He indicated that such actions, such as the alleged abduction narrative, may have been misleading and unhelpful. The president emphasized the need for honest counsel. He argued that genuine support should focus on protecting Tuju's interests rather than escalating the situation. At the same time, he criticized the political actors who have linked the matter to a broader political rivalries. In particular, he took issue with attempts to draw in former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and according to the president, such references risks politicizing what he described as a legal and financial dispute. He maintained that the focus should remain on resolving the underlying issues, and back in Nairobi, Tuju's condition remains a point of concern. His hospitalization has added urgency to the situation, even as investigations continue. Authorities are expected to pursue the matter further, especially in light of the allegations surrounding the reported abduction. And for now, the case presents a convergence of legal, financial, and political elements: a disputed property, a contested auction, conflicting claims of ownership, and a criminal investigation that could have serious implications. For public, the case raises broader questions and about the enforcement of financial agreements, about the protection of property rights, and about the intersection between politics and the rule of law. As each new detail emerges, the picture becomes clearer but also more complex. What remains certain is that the outcome of this case could have far-reaching consequences, not only for those directly involved, but also for how similar disputes are understood and handled in the future. As the legal process unfolds and the facts continue to emerge, the fate of Raphael Tuju now rests not in influence but in the law. That's all for today from Kenya Lens Media. We'll bring you news updates as they break, and kindly, if you're new here, consider subscribing.